What's a dirty secret about your workplace that people shouldn't be knowing? I worked at Fresh Value Market for 2 years during college, and let me tell you, you never want to see how the sausage gets made, or in this case, how the pre-made sandwiches get assembled, the fresh fish gets displayed, and the bakery magic happens. My first day on produce, my supervisor Kevin Martinez showed me the ropes. A clamshell of strawberries had popped open during transport, spilling fruit all over the stockroom floor. I started to grab a trash bag, but Kevin just laughed and handed me an empty container. 5-second rule doesn't apply to produce, he said. More like 5-minute rule. We scooped up every single berry, even the ones that had rolled under the pallets where God knows what had been spilled over the years. The dairy section was worse. I watched my coworker Lisa Thompson drop an entire case of Greek yogurt cups, lids flying everywhere. Half of them landed in a puddle of chocolate milk that had been leaking from a damaged carton for who knows how long. Lisa just wiped the lids on her apron, the same apron she'd been wearing for 3 days straight, and snapped them back onto the yogurt containers. Back on the shelf they went, right next to the ones that hadn't taken a bath in expired dairy products. Working in the deli taught me never to order the pre-made sandwiches. The meat and cheese that went into those came from whatever was about to expire in the regular deli case. Turkey that was starting to turn that weird gray-green color would get chopped up with some mayo and become turkey salad. Ham that smelled questionable got loaded onto sub-rolls with enough mustard to mask the funk. The seafood department was pure theater. Miguel Santos, the seafood manager, had this whole performance where he'd arrange the fish on ice like he was some kind of artisan. Customers would ask about the salmon being never frozen, and Miguel would nod seriously while pointing to signs that guaranteed freshness. What those customers didn't see was Miguel in the back room, pulling rock-hard frozen salmon fillets out of boxes marked, "Product of China, keep frozen." The really expensive stuff was the biggest scam. Those $20 a pound jumbo shrimp in the display case came from the exact same frozen bags we sold for $8 in the freezer section. Miguel would thaw them out overnight, arrange them on ice, and mark them up 150%. I watched him do this every Tuesday and Thursday when the frozen shipments came in. But the bakery was where the real lies lived. Customers would come in at 6 a.m. asking for fresh baked bread, and our baker Carol Jensen would smile and point to loaves that had been sitting in boxes since the previous afternoon. The only thing Carol actually baked was pre-portioned cookie dough that came in from a factory in Ohio. Everything else, the artisan breads, the fancy pastries, the celebration cakes, arrived on trucks already made. The birthday cakes were particularly insulting. Parents would pay $40 for a custom cake that Carol had literally pulled out of a freezer case and run through a decorating machine. She'd skew RT some colored frosting into a flower pattern, write "Happy Birthday, Tommy" in blue icing, and charge premium prices for 5 minutes of work on a cake that cost the store maybe $6. The worst incident I witnessed involved the rotisserie chickens. Marcus Williams was working the hot food section when the heating element broke down. Instead of throwing out the partially cooked chickens, he just moved them to the regular ovens and cranked up the temperature. The outside got crispy and golden, but when I bit into one during my break, the inside was still pink and cold. Marcus shrugged and said corporate would fire him if he wasted that much product over a minor equipment malfunction. I finally quit after watching a delivery truck dump a pallet of canned goods in the parking lot during a thunderstorm. The cans were dented, dirty, and had been sitting in puddles for an hour. Store manager Patricia Davis just had us rinse them off with a garden hose and put them on the shelves at full price. That night, I went home and threw out everything in my fridge that I'd bought from Fresh Value. Now I shop at 3 different stores, read expiration dates religiously, and never buy anything from the deli or seafood counter. Some secrets you can't unknow, and working retail food service will ruin grocery shopping forever.